Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder. Today we're diving into Tyson Foods' latest filing. It's a bit like a butcher showing off his new knives. A lot of talk about cutting costs. But will it actually improve the meat? Let's find out. This is a report about a new credit agreement. Basically, it's how Tyson Foods is borrowing money. This document tells us about the terms of their new loan and what it means for the company's financial health. On April 15, 2025, Tyson Foods made a big move. They got a new revolving credit agreement. Think of this as replacing an old credit card with a new one, hopefully with better terms. This new agreement replaces their old one from September 2021. The old credit agreement allowed them to borrow up to $225 billion, but now that's gone. It was terminated, meaning it was completely shut down when they signed the new agreement. So what does the new credit agreement do? It allows them to borrow $2.5 billion, which is more than before. They can also ask to borrow another $500 million if they meet certain requirements. It's like having a higher credit limit on your card. This agreement lasts until April 2030, with the possibility of extending it for 2 more years. Now let's talk about interest rates. Interest is the cost of borrowing money. Tyson has a choice of how they want to calculate the interest. They can choose the term secured, overnight financing rate, or term SOFR, or the daily simple SOFR plus a spread, which is an added percentage. Or they can choose the alternate base rate, or ABR, plus another spread. The exact interest rate they pay depends on how good their credit rating is. It's like how your credit score affects the interest rate you get on a loan. Here's how the interest rate works. The better Tyson's credit rating from agencies like Moody's or S&P, the lower the interest rate they pay. For example, if they have a really good rating, they pay a lower facility fee and lower spreads on their interest rates. But if their rating drops, they pay more. This encourages Tyson to keep their finances in good shape. Let's say they are at level 1, they would pay a facility fee of 0.090%. There are a few rules or covenants that Tyson has to follow. They have to keep a certain level of earnings compared to their interest payments. This is called the interest expense coverage ratio. They have to maintain a ratio of at least 350 to 1.0. This means their earnings have to be at least 3.5 times their interest expenses. The agreement also lists events that would trigger a default. A default is when Tyson breaks the agreement. This could happen if they don't pay their debts, violate the rules of the agreement, go bankrupt, or if there's a change in who controls the company. If they default, the lenders can demand that Tyson pay back the money immediately. If you want to read the fine print, you can find the full revolving credit agreement as Exhibit 10.1. Because they got a new agreement, the old one was cancelled. The report goes on to mention other fillings where the old agreement was discussed. The report confirms that the new credit agreement creates a financial obligation for Tyson. Now let's step back and look at what this all means. Here's my take on Tyson Foods. Getting this new credit agreement is generally a good move. It gives them access to more money, which can be useful for investments or dealing with unexpected problems. One of Tyson's strengths is its brand recognition. People know and trust their products. Also, the demand for meat products is generally pretty stable, which provides a solid foundation for their business. However, there are risks. Tyson is exposed to fluctuations in commodity prices such as corn and soybeans, which are used for animal feed. If these prices go up, it can squeeze their profit margins. Also, the company faces increasing pressure to adopt more sustainable practices. This can be costly and require significant changes to their operations. One thing that stood out to me is that their interest rates on the new agreement depend on their credit rating. This is a good incentive for them to keep their financial house in order. But it also means that if their rating drops, their borrowing costs will go up. Overall, Tyson Foods seems to be in a decent position, but they need to manage their costs carefully, adapt to changing consumer preferences, and maintain a good credit rating to take advantage of favourable borrowing terms. Thanks for watching. If you found this analysis helpful, please like, comment and subscribe for more deep dives into corporate filings. Let me know in the comments which company you want me to decode next.